opener coming into the game, and on the day that I'm supposed to pitch, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just his opinion, and his opinion means a whole lot more than mine.
That is very true. And, of course, we're talking about the White Sox as well, too, and the 2019 Hall of Famers as well, too. We're talking about the White Sox. Harold Baines is going in, and, of course, there was some controversy about that. So it's like, marginal numbers and whatever else. And that thing's all based on how he affected the game or affected the team. And I remember Harold Baines as just delivering just game-winning hits and game-winning home runs. And I remember going to one of the games again. This time wasn't through my dad. It was through my sister, whose husband had some White Sox tickets, sat behind home plate, and when they played the Oakland A's, I remember Harold Baines did a walk-off 3-run homer to beat the A's. It was in 10 innings. That was probably one of the best games I had seen. And I think it was like, oh my gosh,
Mike, let me stop you for a second. Let me stop you. Harold Baines was one damn good ball player, a real good, solid major league ball player. He wasn't a Hall of Famer. He was elected so that the turnout for the ceremonies would be gigantic coming from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
And remember, it's a museum. And the museum charges money to get in. And when you get a Chicago or New York contingency to go up for the ceremonies, the induction ceremonies, they automatically boost everything. Hotels, restaurants, all that stuff is served. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the museum is a business. And objectivity and the Hall of Fame selections are an impossible. It's impossible to put one and two together that way. It's who chooses which committees, veterans committees, this, that, and the other thing. It's politics. It's always politics, and therefore, it's great for we talk show folk because it gives us fodder of who should be in, who wasn't put in, who got in and should be out, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love talking about it. But just remember, you got to follow the money if you want the real reason things happen. Not just in baseball, but in politics, in where you worship, whatever it is, follow the money. That's my advice from an old guy to a young man.
Or any age, yes. And, of course, we'll talk about some of the Hall of Famers since we got on that subject. Listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at Sonic Web Studios for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start a business or own a business for a while, who are you going to call for sole proprietorship insurance? Why not call the expert, Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group? He also specializes in Medicare and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357. Or evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Licensed in 7 states in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook, Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and watch the interview on YouTube as well. We're here with the Zig-Zag Man, Ralph Tyko, out of Alameda, California. He's been New York City born, talking about the New York Mets and being a Mets fan for a number of years. We'll get to more of that. We're going to talk about the class of 2019. We just got into the into that as well too, just throwing a curveball or knuckleball. And speaking of that, Roy Halladay, passed away like a couple of years ago, plane crash and everything. And what do you think about Roy Halladay being in the Hall?
I well deserving. You should. Glad he's in. Let me remind everybody, if we're talking about anything that goes beyond this show, contact us through Facebook. My name is Ralph Tyko, Tyko, and if you want to discuss it, I'll lead you to my sites. I'll lead you to my podcast site, and that's on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and find Comfortably Zoned. We have archived every one of our offerings throughout the years, and just go through there. You'll see some wonderful stuff. And now I'm starting a new venture, as Mike mentioned, TLBTV.com, and Michael put up the website. It's Comfortably Zoned again, and have another show as well, New York City Baseball, where we have sports writers and coaches and managers and commentators, and we talk baseball, past, present, future. We go back to the old days. One of our recurring guests is Peter Golenbach, who wrote Dynasty and Bums, two of the definitive books on Yankee and Dodger history. Another one of our guests is Hal Bach, who spent 43 years as an AP baseball writer, Associated Press. And he's still in good voice and good mind, and takes us back to the days of Madison Square Garden and Ranger hockey and Knick basketball. New York is thick with sports tradition, and we like to cover it, and we love it. So, and Mike, I'm glad I got you thinking about the Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's right. And of course, being in winter mode for about 4 or 5 months, especially after the Red Sox knock off the Dodgers 4-1. And I was in tune also to the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'm glad to see them make it, although they were 1 game short of making it to the World Series for first time since 1982. And, I could see some future Hall of Famers in the Brewers as well, too. And, look at some of the upcoming season, and with the Milwaukee Brewers, there's a question since the Brewers made it this far against the LA Dodgers coming in 1 game of the World Series, can the Milwaukee Brewers repeat?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Yelich is beyond a superstar. He's terrific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was just going to say, if you have a superstar to build around, it's a lot easier. Mike Trout comes to mind with the Angels, who are going to go do some big things now that they've signed him and they can build around him. So look for them to come up in the world, and look for my New York Mets to have a hell of a season this year.
Yes, Jacob deGrom. 5-year deal. Oh my gosh, what was it? $40 million or somewhere around there? It's like 5 years they secured him.
It's a lot of money, but it's a good sign, and it relieves everybody, and it tells the other people in the clubhouse that a signing can take place.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets are going to give up some money, which has always been in question. The Will Ponzis have not been easy on this and many other Met fans. It's been very difficult.
And of course, considering the season they had last year, where they had the potential to take on the National League East, take on Washington and Philadelphia, which Philadelphia kind of fell apart, going after the Scherzers and of course I'm just trying to think of their ace right now. But anyway, it's like, with the Mets, it's like, they had the pieces together, but they had quite a number of injuries that fell apart, and looks like they're coming back together again. So I guess the big question is, it's like, how much ammunition do they have to take out the Washington Nationals this year?
Well, they improved their bullpen. They improved their catching. They got deep all over. There's a lot of guys in competition for jobs. They're very, very solid. Their shortstop, Rosario, is blossoming into a superstar. They acquired Cano, and he is a professional hitter. They say, well, he's 31 years old, this, that, and the other thing. You know what? There are some guys that will be able to hit the ball when they're 38, 39. He is that. And they have a guy named McNeil coming up, and lightening up the top of the order with Rosario. They're going to put some guys on. They're planning a bunting game. Conforto is coming into his own, and they've got this kid at first base, Alonso, and he's a beast. You watch for him. He, just found out today he made the Major League roster. They were going to send him out for at least the first 2 weeks of the season because it would extend the years they had him under contract. But he pushed the envelope in spring training, and he's going north with the team. I think they're good for 86 games, and I think they're good for 88 if Alonso, 88 to 90 if Alonso is all he's hyped up to be. And I think he is.
That sounds amazing, too. It kind of goes back to the last time the Mets had won the World Series as well, too. And it looks like, they could be making a great run as well, too. But they have to get past the Dodgers. And then depends on who comes out the National League Central. The Cubs have got themselves back and running again. Yu Darvish reportedly had actually been working out, looks improved. And they kept just about everybody intact. And then, of course, you look at I'm just trying to think here for just a minute. We have the Central, we have the West, and of course, you got the East. So it looks like whoever can get over the hump of Los Angeles has a chance to go out against the Boston Red Sox in the American League.
Well, I wouldn't exactly give it to the Boston Red Sox before they play the season. Speaking of New York, the Yankees filled a few of their needs over the winter. They signed Tulowitzki, a Western Division or an Central Division guy all these years. And they're going to shore up their shortstop until De Gregorius gets back. And Judd is a monster. He's going to be healthy all year, presumably. Mm-hmm. And he's going to put up some numbers that you will marvel at. But beyond that, Judd has something going for him. He's really a solid right fielder with a terrific arm. He's got a gun for an arm, and he uses it selectively. He'd rather get a guy out by just a step than throw his arm out. Mm-hmm. He's not interested in impressing anybody, but he is really he, like Trout, being the face of the franchise in Anaheim, can be the guy when you think in New York baseball for the next 10, 15 years, you're going to think of Judge.
And I think that's something, too. And, of course, the big news last year was the signing of Giancarlo Stanton away from the the Miami Marlins, and there was question that were the Marlins just trying to purge, just for salary purposes, but getting Stanton, he had a really slow start in April. Fans were booing, and Stanton got frustrated, but then he started coming on like gangbusters in the second half of the season. I mean, he wasn't the real reason, but he was